I don't think you have heard anyone say that a charger, a portable power bank is going to be fun, but look at this guy, right? This is a Ugreen charger, 20,000 milliamp hour, and if you click it 10 times, it shows an angry emoji. This is like a fidget spinner for people who cannot keep still and they have to click something and have that tactile feedback. It shows an emoji and the robot face becomes angry. Now there is another smaller one. This is a 12,000 milliamp hour. It does the same thing. You don't have to click 10 times. I think it's a little bit less, but it shows an angry emoji as well. How fun is this? Now let's talk a little bit more about these two portable power banks, and because I'm going on a trip soon, these will come in useful. Let's see which is more suitable for you. So why do we need chargers? We have so many devices. We have laptops, we have phones, we have cameras to charge, and even your earbuds, your headphones, your watch, so many devices to charge, right? So you need a power bank, and these devices are getting very, very power hungry. You want brighter screen, you want faster processors, you even want to game. Maybe it's the Steam Deck, or maybe you have a portable Nintendo Switch that you want to bring around and charge while you're on the move. And all these power banks will then come in useful because you know how much screen time you have, okay? I don't have to remind you that I look at my kids and the screen time is just amazing. So if you are just depending on your phone to get around, you're using GPS, you're doing messaging and taking photos and videos, it is going to run out of battery before the end of the day, and that's when power banks come in useful. And I personally have been in a presentation because I was traveling, I was meeting customers back to back, and by the last meeting, the laptop basically ran out of battery. I have to then use one of the power banks to charge up the battery so that I can carry on the presentation. Know that this is a sponsored video, but I do not do sponsored videos unless I trust the brand and I use the brands for myself. I have turned away multiple, which you don't know about because I never made videos about those products. And Ugreen is definitely a brand that I trust to basically move everything. In fact, I've done HDMI cables from Ugreen. If you are on this channel and you are onto soundbar or wireless audio, you know that HDMI cables are important. Ugreen HDMI cables are super well made and they are priced very reasonably. Do not have to spend hundreds of dollars buying those exotic audiophile, videophile HDMI cables. They do not work any better than the Ugreen ones. I'll make another video or I'll link to a previous video that I've done for the Ugreen HDMI cables and you can take a look at them. Now enough of the cables, let's talk about these power banks. Now there are two power banks that are in my hands right now. For simplicity, I'll call them the big one and the small one. The big one is PB721 and it is a 130 watts capable power charger, and this power bank here is the PB724. It is slightly smaller, capable of still 100 watts of output. So I'll go through a couple of functionalities for these guys. I'll go through the physical aspects of it and I will talk about the display, this very interesting display that I have here, as well as talk about the charging capabilities and how it will fit into your lifestyle. And lastly, I'll put some links in the description down below or towards the end of the video where I will tell you and show you where to buy them for a 15% discount, and especially 99 sale is going to be coming up on Lazada and Shopee, so watch out for the discount code towards the end. Now for those of you who are overseas, Amazon is not really carrying it in all the countries right now, but I expect these to sell very well, so they should come to a shopping platform near you very, very soon. Look at these power banks. They are of a specific form factors. They are not the flat type that we're used to, so these are actually more brick-like and they are square profile from the top view and they fit into your hands very well. Now at the bottom of these are rubber feet, right? So if you look at how this works, you can actually place them at an angle and they won't slip. So they won't slip around on your table that much. And the same will apply to the smaller charger and they work about the same way, right? Because the rubber feet keeps them in place. Now the small one is just over 300 grams and the big one is encroaching on 500 grams. So just decide on what size you need and the number of ports that you need. This big one has 3 charging ports, 2 USB-C and 1 USB-A. The unit will also come with a charging cable. Now this charging cable is a short 45, maybe 50 centimeters cable. It's a USB-C to USB-C. It doesn't come with a USB-A cable. So assuming you want to charge your Apple Watch, which comes with a USB-A to the charging plug for the Apple Watch, you have to use that original cable. But this cable, it is very important. Why? Because it is capable of 240 watts charging. I know this puts out 100 300 watts at the max from one of the ports, but you're not going to be finding a better quality charging cable for this. Whether it does data or not, it's not important, but the fact is that this supports up to 240 watts. So you can basically charge any device that you have without restrictions on the power output. Now, this cable is the same cable that comes either for the big charger or the small charger. So label these cables, don't lose them. These are high quality cables, great cables. I mean, it's a little bit kinked up, but well, that's how they package it. So both these power banks, even the big one, they are flight approved, meaning to say you can bring them on a flight, no problem. TSA will indicate that the maximum amount of charge that you can hold, the maximum power capacity is 100 watt hour. This is 72 watt hour, this is 44 watt hour. So not a problem, both will be able to go on a flight. Now the bigger guy at 480 grams, it has 3 ports. One is a USB-A port, which is capable of outputting 22.5 watts, and you have 2 USB-C ports. The lower USB-C port acts as an input charger as well. So you can charge up the power bank at up to 65 watts input power. So if you have one of Ugreen's or any charger that is capable of outputting 65 watts and above, it will charge the power bank at up to 65 watts. It'll probably take about 2 hours, slightly less, to give it a full charge from 0 to 100. The smaller one has 2 ports, one USB-C and one USB-A. And this will take about an hour to fully charge up the 44 watt hour capacity in this power bank. So as you can see, this is actually pretty handy. If you ask me, I do actually prefer the smaller one because it is much lighter at about 300 grams or so, just north of 300 grams, and it is very portable. You can just dump it in your backpack and you probably won't miss it. Now, the problem with this unique form factor is that it is unlikely to fit into your back pocket very well. I mean, if you have a huge ass, then this is going to accentuate your ass a lot more. So I don't think you slip this kind of things as opposed to the more traditional flat ones, because these houses the battery cells in a 2x2 configuration. Now just imagine the cells going in this way. And interestingly, actually this power bank uses the 21700 cells, and these are the lithium cells that are being used in a Tesla. I don't know which generation, is just as advertised by Ugreen, and they will hold up to 80% charge after 1000 charges. Meaning to say, after charging 1000 times, it's still going to hold up to 80% of that capacity. So 1000 cycles, you know, you can charge a full MacBook Pro 14-inch one time, and you can probably charge your iPhone 15 Pro 4 times with this capacity. Assuming you cycle through your phone 4 times a day, you charge this guy 1 time fully a day, that's going to last you about 3 years. So after 3 years of using this guy, depleting from 100 to 0 every day and charging it back up, you're still going to have 80% left. So these are really, really good cells. Now, a lot of power banks will sell you the capacity, but they don't talk about the quality of the cells. And this is where Ugreen comes in, right? Ugreen, they do not price their products that cheap. They don't sell you and hook you in on the price, but they do put quality cells, and that is important. Now, if you want to spend a little bit more and be trouble-free for the next 3 years, then these are really the power banks to get. Now, I mentioned earlier the display here. So if you turn on the bigger power bank, if you look at this, it has some information that is displayed on the LCD screen here. Now, the screen is a little bit dark, so you won't be able to really see it. I'm just monitoring from what I can see here. Yeah, here you go. Okay, indoor use, it is probably okay, but outdoor, you're probably gonna have some problems trying to read it in bright sunlight. Now, there's no way to adjust the brightness for this, but this screen gives a lot of information, and it's very interesting. Now, when you try to charge this, so this is connected to a Ugreen 300 watt charger. Not that it's going to charge it at 300 watts, but it's capable of producing up to 300 watts across all the 5 ports that it has, but it will charge this at 65 watts. Now, this power bank is now fully charged, so you may see it, but if it is not, and if it's charging up, there's actually a timer up there that will tell you how long more at the current charging speed is it going to take to fully charge up this power bank. Like I said, this will probably take just slightly south of 2 hours to fully charge up, and it shows you the battery percentage as well as each individual port charging. Now, I'm going to try this, right? I have a MacBook Pro, which is right in front of me. It's a 16-inch MacBook Pro right here. Let's see how I can charge this here. All right, so I'll use the supplied cable. I'll plug it into this port here, which can output 100 watts. And let's plug it into the MacBook Pro, right? Now, I will capture some B-roll shots later, but you can see that it is now powering the MacBook Pro. The MacBook Pro is currently at about 58% battery. So if you click it, you will be able to see a graph. Now, it's not going to be very clear, but you can see the graph. And you can see how fast it's charging, at what wattage, and what is the current draw. And there's even a curve, right? A charging curve that shows you how long and at what speed it's been charging over a period of time. Now, this is very, very useful information, which normally you got to buy another device to measure that kind of things, but it shows it here. Now, again, I'm still very intrigued by this, and if you try to finger it about 10 times or so, it gets angry. This is so fun. Fidget spinner in a power bank. Okay. Now, the other guy here, the smaller one, now you would think that the big one is 130 watts, the small one is 100 watts. Maybe they won't charge the MacBook as fast, but that is wrong. Now, you won't be able to tell the charging speed here, but I have a cable that is able to tell. And this is, let me just show you, I will be charging the same MacBook Pro. It's a 16-inch MacBook Pro. It has one single output here, and this single output is a 100-watt output. So the same 100-watt output as on this. Now, there are two USB-C here. Although it says 130 watts for the bigger charger, it doesn't output 130 watts with one port. The 130 watts is split between 100 watts on one port and 30 watts on the other USB-C port. Now, this here, right, let me just rotate it around. So when you start charging, it gives you the power percentage that is left. So this display is a little bit lower fidelity than the one on the bigger brother, and it just shows the battery percentage, right? Now, if you look at this part here, where you can see the charging power, because this cable I have here, it measures the wattage output, right? It reads, what was it reading? 89 watts. So effectively, this smaller charger here is also able to supply the same power as the bigger charger. The flexibility you get is one extra USB-C port, which you can charge another device, maybe your laptop or maybe even the MacBook Air, which draws only up to 35 watts. So imagine how important data is to you, because this guy, it doesn't give you a lot of data, but it is light, it is very portable, and is still capable of up to 100 watts of output. Whereas the bigger brother here, it is capable of more output, but across more ports. So it has two USB-C port and one USB-A port. Now, while talking about a USB-A port, it is interesting because you can actually turn on trickle charge here. So if you are trying to charge a low power device via your USB-A port, let's say you're trying to charge your watch and your watch doesn't take more than 1 or 2 watts of power, you're trying to charge a camera that doesn't take more than 1 or 2 watts, or you're trying to charge this here, the Apple AirPods Max, which doesn't take a lot of power, right? Sometimes the protocol, when they're negotiating, it won't charge the device. But what you can do is you can press this side button here, hold it for 3 seconds, and it will activate the trickle mode charging, which will be useful for charging your lower power devices. So I've been going through all the devices that I can be charging. I have been charging the MacBook Pro, I've been charging the MacBook Air. I have also been charging, oh my God, these are the iPad Pros, and this is the iPad Pro 12.9, right? Or maybe they call it the 13-inch now. So they all charge fantastically. But what if you are an Android user? What if you're not in the Apple ecosystem? Now, of course, laptops is not a problem. I've been charging my work laptop. It takes in a maximum of 65 watts. It went up to about 61, 62 watts of charging. So that is not a problem. But more importantly, for the devices like the Samsung devices, which supports super fast charging 2.0, those take up to 45 watts on their phone. So those are the, I believe, S22 Plus onwards, they support up to 45 watts of charging. Now, these power banks, both of these are capable of using super fast charging 2.0 and is capable of delivering the 45 watts that is required. It will charge those devices fast. So even if you're not an Apple user, these power banks are still going to be for you, and especially for those of you on Samsung and you're trying to find a super fast power bank to charge up your phone so that you don't have to have it tethered while you go around taking photos while you're on a vacation, then these are the power banks for you. But if you're going to be moving around, like I said, I really love the information on this display here. It is just that it is a little bit bulky and heavy to move around. Now you're trying to move around close to half a kilogram of power in your pocket. Granted, it will charge your phone 3-4 times, but this guy, it will charge your phone twice, and basically you still have a little bit of power left over. And it's so much more compact and so much lighter. So when it comes to pricing, these two, I will put up QR codes right here. And these are QR codes to either Shopee or Lazada. Both of them are running promotions, and I'm launching this video so that it will be in time for the 99 sale, and you'll get 15% discount, better discount than what you can get on the platform themselves. So the PB721, which is this bigger one, I know intuitively this is PB724, which is a smaller one, but the PB721, the bigger charger, it will go for about 110 Singapore dollars. List price in US dollars is about $100, and you can actually bring it down by 15% to about $95 on Shopee or Lazada. And this will actually be priced at 70 Singapore dollars, about 50 US dollars, and it will go down to 60 Singapore dollars with the discount code. Now, if you're on Shopee, the discount code is UGR, whatever. I'm just going to put it up here so you can use this discount code on Shopee. Otherwise, check the video description down below. Thank you, Ugreen, for sponsoring this video, and you know I love your chargers, I love your products, and I keep using them. And thank you for letting me try these on my upcoming trip. And I'll see you in my next video.